Going on, y'all? It's a proud day. I'm honored. It's an honor day. Does that even make sense? I don't know. Another interview, and this is somebody that I have respected for a long time. One of the first channels I found, and some of the most information I've ever gotten from. Misty Shooter. Misty Shooter, what's going on?
Hey y'all, not a lot.
Misty, I've got to tell you, I can honestly say that you and Mountain Man, hell, your kids could teach me so much. Your channel is full of knowledge. I would not be too proud to have your kids teach me how to butcher a hog. I mean, I don't care. I mean, where you get the knowledge is great, but you've got a great channel, and that's kind of the first thing I wanted to say is that I respect what you guys do, and I really, really dig it. I think you do a huge amount for this community.
Thank you so much. We just do what we do, and I was lucky enough to have one of the girls that loved to butcher and do boy things without being a total tomboy.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I mean, that's a great skill. I mean, you know, for kids to just jump in there like that. I mean, I don't have kids because I know I shouldn't, but some people are made for having kids and some people aren't. I'm not. You obviously are, because those kids just look. I hear in the background, and it's kind of how I was raised too. I hear in the background, yes ma'am, yes sir. That's exactly how I had to respond to my parents when I was growing up.
Right. Well, you know, I wasn't raised to be a mother. My mother put us off on my grandmother, so that left us with her all the time, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I learned through trials and hard times and good times and just everything. You name it.
Well, on that, what kind of got you into the prepping community? I mean,
well, I did not consider myself a prepper, or I really didn't come to YouTube to be a prepper or any of that. We watched videos and, you know, we thought it was cool. I thought, you know, we got a camera, we can try this, we can do this, see where it goes, you know. Mm-hmm. And I just started doing stuff that I do and showing them what I do in our basic class, and I got tagged as a prepper because we survived. We survived. That's all we did. We did what we could do to survive, to make it in this life. And we were obviously prepping. We know you prepare for things, but the term of prepper, you know, didn't apply to me until we got going on this road here.
Right.
And so, you know, anywhere else that I go, anywhere else on the internet and I sign up, I do sign my name as Misty Prepper. But just wanted to have something else, because I did not know what I was doing when I signed up for YouTube. Or else my username wouldn't be my email address, so, you know.
Yeah, and it's almost hard to change it now, but, you know, that's actually a topic I wanted to bring up with you. If you ever, because it is so hard to say, you know, go check out Misty Prepper, you know, because I get questions all the time about canning or this or that, and I'm always, my first reaction is, I'm brand new at this, get hold of Misty Prepper or Bear Prepper. Those two are the ones to talk to. And I'm sure they're Googling or they're searching for Misty Prepper. And, you know, I forget who I was talking to, we're talking that, you know, if you change your YouTube channel name, between all of us out here, and you've got so much respect out here, I don't think you realize how much respect you have in this community. We could get the word out that you have changed your channel. And keep this one up until you get everybody over or do whatever, but I mean, if you wanted to, just so that it would be easier to do, yeah. I mean, but it's your channel. You do your thing. It's just a thought.
Right, it is. It's a hard thing, and before I really realized it and stuff, I was too deep into it.
Yeah.
You know, and so I'm working up there, you know, over 4,000 subs. Mm-hmm. I made a tactical forum this 2 weeks too. It said 2 to 4 weeks. You said.
I haven't.
You know.
I haven't seen that video yet. I'm gonna have to check that out. So that's cool.
You didn't know I had made it.
I haven't watched it. I saw your tweets. As a matter of fact, the reason we're doing this early is because I saw you tweet back that I'm waiting on. I actually left work and stopped at my watering hole and sitting there having a couple drinks, bullshitting with the bartender. And I saw you tweeted just waiting on Lobach's call. I'm like, oh crap, did I get the time wrong? So I quickly finished my drink.
We didn't translate quite right.
And then figured, well, I guess she can wait another minute. And then I got another drink and then came on home and got set up. So
I was just sitting here in front of the webcam trying to see where the best place was to fit since my kids got my place in there.
Well, now, a big question that is, I know you've been asked many times, and maybe a personal question, and I know we talked about this before we started this. I mean, I don't try and bullshit with whatever I put out, but the way you dress, the way your family dresses, what's if you're comfortable, what's the reasoning behind that? And you don't have to go into too much whatever you feel comfortable with.
Well, the biggest thing is modesty. We do it for modesty, for religious reasons. You know, back when Serenity is 12 years old now, Indica's 15, and Serenity was 6 months old, we went down to the creek and was buying milk off a lady, fresh cow's milk. And I come one day when they were having devotions, and I just felt really, really out of place. I mean, and this was, I had been there several times, so I thought I'm going to dress as modest as I can. So I put on a pair of black jeans, a long sweater that hung down low, you know, and I thought, and then she invited me in and said, have a seat. And I mean, I could just crawl in a hole and just hide. I just was embarrassed, you know. I don't know, I just felt uncomfortable.
Right.
And, you know, after that I asked her, you know, could you make me a dress maybe, you know, so when I come to get milk, I have a dress to wear. Well, I came home, we talked about it, and Mountain Man did, and he said that I have a choice, okay? I've got 2 daughters, and I either am going to wear a dress, we're going to do this all the time, or I'm not going to do it at all. I was not going to straddle the fence, because his grandpa said, you straddle the fence, you get your britches tore out. He said, so you're going to be on one side, or you're going to be on the other side. And
I like that.
Here I am today, you know. So, you know, we was buying them just regular clothes. The girls, it was summertime, wear shorts and little tank tops, and he was just, they got to have something else to wear, Misty. This is driving me nuts. I cannot stand this. I mean, this is before the fact. You know, he was thinking, okay, my little girls are going to grow up, and I cannot mentally take seeing them dressed and showing their body off.
Oh, yeah.
He waited a long time for him. He was 33 when we got married.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I figured that's fine. So, and plus, I did grow up in a religious background until I was about 15 years old, 14, fixing to be 15,
mm-hmm.
and it was Pentecostal, and usually my husband was grown up to be raised to, they said that Pentecostals were nuts and crazy people. And so basically they were right. They were right. So what you come out with a product of me. They were right. They're crazy.
Uh-huh.
No offense to anybody, okay, out there. Sorry.
Don't worry about it.
If I hadn't been there, I wouldn't say it. So sorry, guys. Anyway, life goes on, and we're here doing what we're doing.
And it appears that you're doing it very well. Now, I had asked you that before, and I pretty much had already known. Now, I hadn't had the whole backstory on it, but I know that's a question out there. And it's a question that people have actually PM'd me and asked me. And I'm like, why are you asking me?
How do I know?
You know, it's not my place, even though I do know it's not my place to say, you know?
Right.
I'm not giving out no information about anybody else, but so I just wanted to, you know, and like I said, we talked about it before this, so I didn't make her feel uncomfortable if she wasn't comfortable talking about it. But that's cool. And, you know, coming from a guy that, I mean, everybody, I think most people know that I was married for 17 years, and I had a stepdaughter, and I can't, I mean, I feel sorry. Fortunately, I left before it got too late in her age.
Right.
But I can't imagine having a little girl and seeing your daughter walk out in these little skimpy outfits that the little teenagers are walking around in these days. I couldn't fathom it. And the guys, if they came around, would just be too terrified, and my daughter would never meet anybody.
Well, every daughter, he bought another shotgun. So he's got shotguns with their names on them for whoever's in front of it.
Nice.
You can't get enough of them. It's going to be a hard day and a hard time when the day comes that they're old enough, or that ignorant boy decides he wants to approach this house, it'd be a bad day. I read it.
The one time a boy came and picked up my stepdaughter, I took him out to at that time I was living in a different place and that's when I was shooting competitively and had a whole room set up that had a range in it and all this stuff, and I took him out there. And I had all my guns, they're all up on the wall and all this stuff, and said, she comes home late or she comes home with too much of a smile. Pick which one out. Pick which one out.
Out the door.
And I'm not sure why, but he never came back.
Well, we don't plan on letting it get that far. That's the thing here. You know, a lot of people think it's strange. The church we go to, we're not members of the church. We just live in the middle of the community, kind of. It's on one side of a big hill and on the other side, and we live kind of in the center between the two, closer to town. But, you know, they don't believe in dating. They believe in the dad talks to his dad. If his dad thinks it's okay and he's mature enough, then he's allowed to go to the girl's dad. And then after him and the girl's dad barter, bargain, talk, whatever, then if he thinks it's okay, then only is he allowed to ask her. And she does have the right to turn him down.
Well,
and then once she says yes, they make an announcement at church for it. And then after that, whenever anything comes up, like a wood cutting or if there's a butchering of any kind or any kind of project, then that's where they're able to work side by side together to see how much more compatible they are and stuff, you know. I mean, you got to understand, they grew up with each other since they were little. They may going to school together in the same classroom, watching each other grow up years by year. So it's not like they don't know these people, or they don't know the girl or the guy that's going on. So it's not like you're just doing that to a complete stranger.
That's
so we really like that philosophy with our girls.
That's interesting. So let me try and get this straight. So if there's a boy that is interested in your daughter, he has to go to his dad, and then his dad has to go to Mountain Man, and they decide if, okay, it's fine if he can ask her. And then if they say, if Mountain Man and his dad agree, then now he has the right to ask her, and she has the right to say yes or no.
Yes.
And
actually,
instead of
the boy and his dad would both come to Mountain Man and talk to them together.
Okay. And instead of going out on dates, they're meeting at these social activities, the cutting wood, the butcherings, or whatever. Right. It's a social thing, so they're not really in a private area. Exactly. They don't believe that's given into temptation. You're going to be tempted at that stage in life, so why put yourself into temptation to get to that point? Because, you know, I went through, my mother brought us to Tennessee when I was June, and I turned 15 in July. And so from 15 years old until I got married, I'm not letting my girls go through that. I'll just put it that way. I'm not going to let them experience the things that I experienced that I shouldn't have experienced, because you are going to be tempted at that age. So, you know, if you get in front of you, if you're not going straight there, go straight ahead, then you're going to veer off the path, you know. So I'm not going to let my girls do the things that I done when I was that age. And if I had kids, I would do everything I could do to prevent them from going through what I went through. But
right.
That's pretty that's interesting. And I definitely wouldn't disagree with it. And it's not my place to. I mean, it's your family. Right. And that's the beauty of America, is that you have that right to do that thing. And if I had a daughter, I'm pretty sure I kind of like that idea, you know?
Right.
Because I know what's in the guys' heads. That's interesting. I appreciate you sharing that with us. So, what do you guys, besides prepping, what do you guys do for fun?
We're really boring creatures. We don't do a lot of fun. You see the most interesting thing that we do at home on video. We give you all the interesting stuff. Otherwise, we're homebodies.
Yeah, well, I'm a homebody. I rarely get out that much, you know, besides stopping at the watering hole on the way home or going shooting now and again or camping, but
that's about it, you know. I mean, if we go shooting, so we can go out in the backyard and shoot. We got the horse now.
Now you gotta rub that in.
We don't go nowhere except for to church. Honestly, we go to Sunday morning church, and then we go to Friday evening meeting, and that's it. and that's 2.5 hours long, and that's a lot for us.
That's amazing. The fact of, and this is what I envy about so many of these channels and that you can just go out in the backyard and shoot. For me, my camping is to get out of the city, get into the woods, and to live there and produce, have your cattle if you have them, or even hogs or goats and chickens. I can't even have chickens, I can do rabbits, but I just really envy that, and that's amazing.
And if we lived somewhere else in the city, then we'd probably do more camping and stuff. But I mean, we got married, and I was 20. I turned 21. In February, I told you before, we're fixing to be married 16 years on the 19th of this month.
Congratulations.
So, when we first got married, we took Indica when she was 3 months old. She was little bitty tiny baby. We went to West Virginia, and we lived there for 2 years. And we literally, you had to cross the creek 7 times, drive down the creek to get up to our land. And so it was awesome. There was bear, there was tigers. There was mountain lions with tigers. Bears, lions, oh my. Wild turkeys. I mean, you name it. It was beautiful there. But we come up on a piece of property that was bare to the bones. There was nothing on there. It was a piece of place to build a home on. The rest of it was mountain. I mean, straight up and down mountain. There was a stream that ran across the side of it, and then the creek that came in it. So we just walked in. And so we started right there from the ground up. Literally, we put a tent out. We put the generator out, and we ran the generator on out with a little electric heater inside of that tent. Make sure it didn't burn nothing down. With me, Mountain Man, Indica, and we drove my sister along. We was in a truck, and we was 4 of us in a 3-passenger full-size truck with a trailer on us that weaved the whole way there. It was so loaded, and you couldn't see out the windows except for the driver window. And we actually, the first night we got there, we plunged down into the last creek, and we got stuck. So we slept in the back end of the truck. We had a camper trailer on it with a mattress at an angle all night long with the deer and the coyote way back in the mountains of West Virginia, stuck in a creek.
Wow.
You had no idea. It was terrified. Me and my sister was terrified.
Wow.
We were. He took his nuts. But,
to me, that just sounds like I would love to just drop everything and do something like that. That, to me, and I've had an offer, I had an acre offered to me up in Canada. Here you go, it's yours, but I don't want to leave this country, But wow, that's an amazing story. And is that where you guys are at right now?
We're in Tennessee. We was only there for 2 years.
Oh, okay.
And we finally got back there the next morning. We set up tent. When we went to wake up the next morning, we stepped out in about 3 foot of snow, and we went to the motel. We went to the motel after that. She called home and talked to her boyfriend, and my mother and his dad. They come up there. They drove all the way up there for 10 hours in my aunt's car and helped us put up a foundation and part of the walls on the house. And then we moved our tent into the house floor and finished.
Wow.
We didn't ever finish before we left. It was never totally done, but it was the children. The children really would have loved it there, and I miss that place more than any place in the whole wide world. I would go back there.
Wow. Yeah, I've driven through Tennessee when I was driving truck, and man, it is so beautiful out there. Yeah. It's beautiful. But then again, when you come from the desert, you see a tree, you're like, oh.
Wow.
Yeah, when I grew up in the woods, Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about that. Yes, I've got one of them magical glasses that refills itself. Rocks. You got to invest in one. We were offline chatting while I was making my drink. You get a lot of questions. How do you handle that?
Well, I try to answer every comment, every PM that I get. I try to answer everything, but and I do answer all my comments. Sometimes when I have a ton of them happen to come in on a video, they like the video or something. Sometimes I have a hard time getting to them to 2 or 3 days. I really like to do them that night or the next day, but life kind of takes control of itself, and I don't get time to sit down until late in the evening, until 8 o'clock or 8:30 when the children are down. And then by that time, if I spend all my time at the computer, answering all my comments, doing all my personal messages, doing everything I have to do, and it's bedtime, or we don't have time to stop and I I like to just stop in the evening after they go to bed and just watch a movie or watch a sitcom or Primetime or something on the computer, where we have a little time to just relax together.
Right.
Have a couple of pints of wine. We drink out of pint jars, so we share 3 pints, 3 of them. And that's all it takes for me and him. And
Nice.
we do share them. We've always shared a drink since he first got me. We've never used different glasses.
Nice.
So,
That's
except for our tea glass now, because he started using lemon in his tea.
That's
I can't stand
romantic.
lemon in my tea, so we don't share a tea glass no more. Everything else we share.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, anymore, I got a lot of the same questions about my religion. Why do I dress this way? That was the biggest question that I got more than anything, And that one I did answer a lot of people at the beginning. And actually, me and Prepping Junkie got into a really long PM back and forth with a lot of stuff that we said together. And I was really glad for that, because she's a great gal, I don't see her a lot no more. But
PJ's awesome.
yeah, she is.
I love
she
PJ.
is, But a lot of other questions are canning meat. How long will your jars last once you can it and it's on the shelf? I get that question a lot.
Yeah.
They last forever until they rust or the seal pops and they go bad. Otherwise, they last indefinitely. Their quality will go down, but if you're at that point in time, then you're going to be happy to have it.
As long as it hasn't gone bad,
Right.
you can still eat it. And I get a lot of the same questions, which I kind of laugh at. I try and answer as much as I can, but I'm a donkey show on here. To me, I don't have the knowledge. I'm learning from you. I mean, I've learned most of my stuff from you and Bear and Real, and I get the questions, and it's hard to respond to everyone. It's hard to respond. I mean, both of us we're real close in subs,
Yeah.
and I never expected that. I mean, I think it's the 19th of this month will be the 1 year anniversary of my first video.
I would have to go back and see how long it's been since I've not been on here much longer than you have, about the same time. And I watched you, and you just kind of went right on by me, and you went on right up the ladder. Whew. So well, there he goes. I said, he left me behind.
I think it's because they like to see a clown.
You got a lot of knowledge. You're very humorous. You're fun. I mean, they
about
enjoy
me.
all that. They really do enjoy that. You do it. I don't know, I think I'm more serious, or it's just a whole different light. Like someone said, I want to know all the different kinds of people that are prepping. You're just a different kind of person than I am, but yet we're the same, right? When it comes down to it.
This is me interviewing you. In other words, I'm not comfortable.
Boy, that's funny. The old me back in. Anyway.
So, God, I got so many questions, like what to ask. I don't want to ask any questions about how to do something that you've done on video, because your videos explain themselves, and you guys are great. I do have to say this: I envy the hell out of that wood stove.
Thank you.
Wow, that thing rocks, man.
It does, I've not had I've had a few good cook stoves. I've just had the Fisher, the first stove I originally started with, and I still have it, but they mandated to borrow it. We weren't using it this winter.
Mm-hmm.
But all the wood cook stoves I have, this is only the second one that the oven works right, where I can actually bake in the oven. And it's a baker's choice, and everybody asks me that too. What kind of wood stove do you think I should buy? All these questions. If you have the money to buy the stove that you want to buy a Pioneer Princess.
Pioneer Princess?
Was originally made, okay? It's
Let me-
grandpa to the baker's choice that I have. But a Pioneer made loads all the wood on top of the stove. So you have to move every pot and everything you're doing whenever you put wood in that stove. You have to. The Pioneer Princess was an updated version of it where you can load it through the front of the stove. You don't got to move your stuff on top.
So let me repeat the name for that, because we're working off of my laptop speakers here, and I don't know how it came out, but it's the Pioneer Princess.
Yes.
Pioneer Princess wood stove.
If a person has the money to buy the stove they want, one of my biggest questions, or if you can buy one used that's in decent condition.
So they still make them?
Those are the only stoves I can recommend. They will actually heat a full, good-sized house as warm as you want.
Wow.
My stove here, if my house was much bigger, it wouldn't heat it.
See, and I'm just wishing I had the money to get one of them little fold-up, pack-up military stoves.
Hey, I want what Ron has in his book when they get down to the...
I'm going to edit that part out because that was a giveaway, because when I got to that part, that blew me away. So
Okay.
I'm going to stop it right there.
I know. You're going to talk about this.
She gave away a part of Ron Foster's books that was a major part. So I don't like to edit these videos, you know, the content, unless it's something personal, but that I'm editing out because...
What about the stove that he's using, the double cooker stove and the big old tea kettle? Do I gotta keep that quiet? I want one of those.
Say it again?
He's got that double cooker stove, big double cooker, and she also got a great big old tea kettle looking thing that she does she purifies the water in.
Yep.
I want two of those.
That's the Stove Tech, right?
Yeah, it is. It must be a bigger version. I've never Googled it, or I've never looked it up.
That was the Stove Tech. That's what I have, and that's what I did my video on. I have that water pasteurizer, and yeah, I have that. Thanks for watching my videos, Misty.
Huh?
No, I'm kidding. I made a video on that. I got that before it got in the book.
I know. I've actually seen your videos on it.
I'm just teasing you. But yeah,
I try to watch people's videos.
It's hard.
Watching everybody's videos. I really do. But a lot of people, I think, I feel bad because I think, I should watch more of their videos. Or at least if I watch it in my email, then I don't go comment on it. Then I think, I should have commented on it because then they'll think I didn't watch it. But I have a lot of time.
It's hard. And, you know, I say that when I said, you know, oh, so you're not watching my videos. I say that jokingly, trust me.
I know.
Because, oh, man, I feel horrible. It's hard. I've got a lot of friends, and it's really hard to watch all the videos. It's a job. It's a second job, you know?
Right. And I don't have a little...
But one that doesn't pay.
Keep up with everybody. This is it.
Yep. So you got yourself a horse.
Yes.
That rocks. Liberty. She's beautiful too.
She is. She is. You know, Serenity's in love with her.
Awesome.
All the children waited for a horse. But it's like all the other animals. She claims them. She claims them. She has more to do with it. She feeds it. She waters it. She makes sure she gets on her back every single day, regardless if it's a few minutes or not, to make sure that she knows that's what's going to happen. And she loves her. And we walked down to the field today, and Serenity rode her to the other end. And she said, I need to tie her up so she don't wander off. And I said, just let her be. If she does, we'll walk back. And she waited for us at the fence. And we had to walk all the way on down to the other end. And as soon as she seen us coming, she started walking slowly up to the house. And she made Serenity follow her all the way to the house. And she knocked her water bucket over. And then she went around the fence where she comes into our yard. And we take her up to eat the rye in the garden. And she went right there, and she waited by the fence to come in, and then she saw Serenity. Serenity said, come to me now. And she turned around, and she came to her Serenity and waited to put her rope back on, and she wanted to go eat rye. And we knew what she wanted. Serenity not ride her. She's going to follow her all the way up here and get that rye. That's
awesome. I had horses when I was a kid for a brief few years, and horses are amazing. It's amazing how they get attached to you as well as you to them, you know?
Well, the man we bought her from, he had several daughters, and he didn't like her because he said she's a woman's horse and that she didn't like men. And so, you know, I said, that's cool. We, you know, Timber, sorry, he'll be all right. He's little. But I've never been a big horse. I like horses. I'm not comfortable getting on a horse. I mean, it's going to take me time to get myself comfortable to get on her and to ride around and stuff. I feel I'm off balance. I don't have a good balance. I fall. I hit things. I bump my head. I'm not well balanced.
I feel you. I don't know why, but sometimes I don't have much balance either.
I never do. I'm just not a very balanced person. Not when it comes to that kind of balance.
Yeah.
And I've had a lot of incidents, so.
I have as well.
And I'm straight.
Well, Misty, I'm sorry Mountain Man couldn't be here. I was really looking forward to that too. But
Yeah.
I've got to say, this video is running really long, and I have to figure out how to edit this or take the time to do it. But, and Harley's out there freaking out about the neighbor re-roofing his house. So,
Hear that? I hear him.
Misty, thank you so much. This was an honor. Probably one of the interviews when I asked you, I was like, please, I hope she says yes. Because you are just a complete wealth of knowledge. You and Mountain Man and the kids. I mean, the kids, to watch your daughter butchering that hog, that's just an inspiration, man. And I'm proud to have been able to do this. You're awesome.
Thank you. I've been honored to be on here, and anytime you want me back, just give me a message, and I'm here.
Okay. Well, Misty, thank you, and we'll be talking soon.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Stay there.
All right. Yeah, edit the far
Okay, guys. That's Misty Shooter. I'm humbled. I'm honored right now. If anybody, which I'm sure, I mean, I know we share a lot of subs, but she also has another base of subs because she's got a couple other channels and, doing some cooking stuff and things like that. But if as a prepper, you haven't seen her, you haven't checked out her videos, you need to, because you will learn. You will learn for sure. Anyways, the videos run plenty long enough. I could sit here and talk with Misty for a couple more hours easily, but we gotta shut her down sometime. Talk to y'all later, and shameless plug, you can buy anything from Amazon, go to logbotprepper.com. I'll talk to y'all later.